Hi, this is Joseph Phillips. I want to talk to you about configuring the virtual classroom space. On your CTT certification exam, if you elect to do the Virtual Classroom Trainer Performance exam, you'll need to be familiar with the software that you are teaching from. I'm talking about the actual virtual classroom space. Now, because the CTT certification exam is vendor neutral, you won't be tested on the particulars of the software you're using, but in the performance, you'll need to demonstrate your knowledge of that particular software. So whether you're using a Cisco product or you're using the GoToTraining product or GoToMeeting, you'll want to show how you are comfortable working in that environment and how you can use that environment to engage your learners. You need to know your software, understand the different options and the features of your virtual classroom environment, and be prepared so that you can quickly share and give examples. So you want to have, if you're going to do polls or testing, or you want to share your desktop for others to drive, or you want people to interact with your software, you need to have all of that set up in advance so you can very quickly give those sharing examples and you can very quickly be prepared to do your demonstration. And then of course you want to experiment before class. You don't want to be fumbling about in your web environment. You want to have all of those experiments and tests ready to go so you can very quickly give that information to your learners without a pause. Now, in this lecture, I want to give you a brief overview of GoToTraining. It's the software that I use most frequently when I do web-based training. Now, GoToTraining, it's a very easy product to use. In the first part of the GoToTraining is just once you logged in, you've created a classroom, and that's what you're seeing here when this invite others. I can email people and invite people to join my class. When I fire up my new class, I can share my screen, and that's what we see highlighted here. So I'm on the air means that I am currently active, that people are seeing what I'm doing, and I can show my screen, I can stop it, I can allow others to drive, and then if I'm co-teaching with someone or if I am participating in a conference like a webinar, the host of that webinar can make me the presenter, so they can change presenters. In the dashboard portion rather, this is where we just see how long we've been recording, how many people are there, if there's any type of error messages that are going to call for my attention, and then people can raise their hand and GoToMeeting. I have a question, and then I can take a look at my audience, I can take a look at who's participating, and so on. In the final portion is where I control the sound and the materials, and if I do any chat or want to do any polls or tests. So this is kind of my dashboard here that controls how I run my meeting or my training. Now, when I set up my training, I have all sorts of choices. I'm going to show you what I think is the most important, and that's my training environment. So when I host a meeting, I want to allow attendees to view who else is there. Sometimes that's appropriate and sometimes it's not. I want people to chat with one another or only be able to chat with me. And I also want to remind people when they log in what time class begins, so when they arrive they're going to see this particular message. And then I have some features in chat. I use chat a lot when I teach because people are doing labs or they're doing tests, so I allow people to chat with me. So I can also see when people arrive and when they leave, if I'm changing from one presenter to the other. What about my keyboard and the mouse? Sometimes I do free webinars, and so I want to give some promotion messages. And then usage tips are like little bubbles that will pop up for the user. I like to engage the learners, as I know you do as well, so I like to create polls and tests. So I can have these set up in advance and then bring those up throughout the course. It's a great way to get people involved with what I'm teaching. And then of course I want to create and save reports about who registered, who actually came to the class, and then a test report. If I do any test as part of a learning management system, I may record those scores, and then some type of an evaluation. So that's a brief overview of your virtual classroom environment.